Welcome back, True Seeker. In the headlines this morning, the death of former FBI Robert Mueller, who led the Russia investigation of Trump. And of course, we were here explaining how that whole thing was theatrics by the numbers. And I just want to show you the very first post I put up on this in 2017. And I want you to tell me if we have a perfect parallel today as we now cover Robert Mueller's passing. Again, if you've been here the whole time, the work has never changed. It's always been super consistent. And I made a big point about how Robert Mueller had this special gematria value of 187, which went with investigation, went with Washington, D.C., and George Washington, and Society of Jesus, and ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. I was making a point how Trump's inauguration began in Ohio on 18/7, 187 days before Inauguration Day. And of course, I was pointing these things out in February of 2016 before Super Tuesday when I said they were going to install Trump in the rigged selection. And you can see down here, Washington, D.C. is also 137, like the investigation began on the 137th day of the year. Again, always been teaching the same methods, the four base ciphers of the English language. And so anyway, here we are now in 2026, nearly 9 years later, and Robert Mueller is now dead 187 days after the Pope's birthday. And we're in the time of the first American Pope who took office by the numbers on May 8th when Pope Leo XIV equals 58, and he replaced Pope Francis, who equals 58, who became a Jesuit in 1958. And like I've always explained, DC's the Jesuit Masonic city, and the Jesuit Masonic fingerprints are all over this. Today's 58 days before the anniversary of the Mueller investigation beginning. Remember, Trump won the 58th election the first time after announcing from the 58-story Trump Tower, conducted 1,058 rituals, including Epstein dying 58 days after his birthday. This time around in the rigged selection, he got 58% of the Electoral College on the anniversary of King James nearly being assassinated by the Jesuits, a man who'd eventually die at 58. But yeah, look at it. I mean, 187 days after the Pope's birthday. They're saying Mueller died yesterday, March 20th, which was perfect since the FBI was founded by a Catholic. And again, we'll remind how 320 is a big Catholic number. Where did I put it at? Where in the world did it go? Did I not put the screenshot here? Okay, I guess I forgot to put the screenshot up here. Here, I'll go to last night's slide. Last night, one of the vampire slayers from Buffy died in a very Jesuit ritual at age 54, like the first Jesuit university was established at age 54. He died on the same day, March 20th, 320, Roman Catholic Church 320. Again, just think about vampire slayers. They're almost like Catholic priests. They got holy water, they got crosses, they got prayer beads. So, yeah, it's just, it's tragic that I can't imagine being the person that comes across and like, what am I gonna do with that? I mean, just here's what you're gonna do with it. You're gonna see through the whole show. Christian White, who we've gone on the show a number of times. I watch almost all of his shows in the background while I'm doing my daily work. There's a lot of work that I do in the background, especially with sports. I mean, just almost everybody in the world talks about like government's this legit thing. Yeah, Trump made a really bad decision on this one. Oh yeah, I did vote for Trump, but I'm feeling. Most of these people are pretty well educated too, and it's just like, yeah. Can you learn what's actually going on in the world? That this is all one big sick puppet show. There's demons that are puppeteering these demons on the world stage. These lesser of two evils. Greater demons puppeteering the lesser demons. But yeah, look at the rest of this too. Shout out to Gematria32. You point out this part right away in my comments. From the FBI's anniversary of establishment by a Catholic until his death on 320, 238 days. His full name, Robert Swan Mueller, 238. Remember, Eye of Providence is 238, the thing on the dollar bill too. But yeah. All roads lead to Rome. 187 days after the Pope's birthday, he's out of here. And not only that, he's dead on the 79th day of the year. Run it the big way, 187, the small way, 79. Dead on the 79th day of the year. And how old's Trump right now? 79. 187, 79, just like Society of Jesus. Just like Washington, D.C. Here, just go back to the post from 2017. Robert Mueller, investigation, Washington, D.C., George Washington, Society of Jesus, ancient and accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry. The number's not arbitrary. Please use it for the homicide code, but in the Bible, there's 187 chapters in the Torah. And just for the record, Abrahamic is 187. The Torah is the basis of the Abrahamic religions. But yeah, if you didn't know, the FBI was founded by the Catholic Charles J. Bonaparte, who's a relative of Napoleon Bonaparte, who has the same birthday as the Jesuit order, August 15th. And of course, Bonaparte is French, and the Jesuits are from France. They were born August 15th, 1534 in Paris, France. Notice the Superior General, how this death works out. The 129th day of his age, first Jesuit university in the nation, Georgetown, 129. 129 is 201 in base 8 counting. The Jesuit order equals 201. Don't forget how Trump sacrificed his ex-wife exactly 60 weeks into the first Jesuit Ignatian year, the day he said he'd run in the 60th election, and then he buried her on the 201st day of the year. From Mueller's death to Trump's upcoming birthday on June 14th, 86 days. You remember the 8647 thing with Comey? Remember that one from last year? 8647. James Comey for the FBI said he didn't know what 86th means. He said he'd never heard of that. The 86th meant to get rid of. I guess apparently the only person in the world who never heard that phrase. But that was 8,647 days after 9/11 that happened. James Comey came into the FBI after 9/11, like right after, because of 9/11. But now we have another FBI guy getting 86th, 47 days before Trump's birthday. Isn't that nice? Blood sacrifice and human sacrifice. 86. If you count the span of days, the difference would be, from March 20th to June 14th is 86 days later. If you count all the days from March 20th through June 14th, that's a total span of 87 days. Russia is 87. And we covered this way back when. Mueller's birthday is 8/7. He led the Russia investigation of Trump. Just all this BS, right? All these BS stories over the years to create a narrative for, that's why Hillary won. The FBI, remember the FBI released the story about Hillary and her emails. They said that's what got Hillary the first time and tilted the election for Trump. All this stuff is bullshit. It's all bullshit. And it all has the same numbers on it too. Remember the Hillary, the 33,000 emails like Clinton's 33. But all of these stories are contrived bullshit. These are all actors on the world stage. That's why every single one of these is by the same numbers. They live by the numbers. They die by the numbers. And it's just the same numbers day after day. You see it from Hollywood to these politicians showing the same thing day after day. By the way, he's dead at 81. President Trump, 81. Dead on the 79th day of the year while Trump's 79. Yeah, this is May 17th, 2017 post right here. Mueller born on 8/7, Russia 87. Special investigator appointed 118 days into the administration. You know what I mean? It's just a joke. Special investigator 118. On the 118th day of the administration, we got a special investigator. This is what our tax money goes to. Just nothing but bullshit. The Mueller report, it was finished on March 22nd, 2019. So here we are, 1 day shy of the anniversary, and it's in the news that he's dead. He technically died 2 days prior. But, we were covering this time. Old 322. Old 322. Yeah, there was a lot here. From his birthday to that one was 227 days. Ancient and accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry, also 227, which is the 49th prime, going with Scottish in Washington. From the administration taking office to the release of the report, 113 weeks on the nose. Scottish, 113. Again, the rites of the Scottish rite written by Jesuit priests, how this all fits together. It looks like I didn't finish 281 here. So the report came 281 days after Trump's birthday. 281 is the 60th prime number. And back in these days, If you go back through my old work, there's a lot of things where I didn't quite finish what I probably meant to finish. Um, and that's because there was a lot of weed smoking going on. It's easy to space what you meant to do for a minute. But 281, the 60th prime number. Donald Trump 60, the winner of the rigged 60th selection. You know what I mean? So there was that part. But then it looks like I did get in this part about where 322 and 281 meet each other. It's interesting talking about enemy of the state. Oh yeah, September 11th is in the the special investigator in Enemy of the State is Thomas Bryan Reynolds, 281, the 60th prime. George H.W. Bush died in the 281 area code. William Russell died on the 281st day of his age. They're both Skull and Bones members, Order 322. Prescott Bush died on October 8th, the 281st day of the year. And about all that, Skull and Bones, again, it has all these important values. 41, like Papa Bush, number 41 was in Skull and Bones. His birthday, June 12th, leaves 202 days left in the year. His son, born on 7/6. It's that 76 that Trump also has. And remember, for the Superior General's 76th birthday, the headline came out that Trump was the first president running for the Republican Party to get 76 million votes. What a script. They're just making it up as they go. But yeah, this 281 thing does have a big connection to Skull and Bones. And when Netanyahu declared the war on Hamas, it was the 281st day of the year, too. An enemy of the state, he checks the watch. It's 322. At 1 hour and 49 minutes into the film, too, like Skull and Bones 149. So, yeah, I mean, we've been documenting all this stuff over and over, a million times over. It looks a lot like last night's Decode, which hardly has any views, of the death of the 54-year-old Buffy the Vampire Slayer actor, the show that ran 144 episodes, where the star Sarah Michelle Gellar's got a 14/4 birthday. His name 153 and 72, like Jesuit order. Again, he's a vampire slayer, dead 187 days after the Pope's birthday on the 79th day of the year. Murder 79, dead on 320, just like Mueller. Again, FBI founded by Catholics. All kinds of Catholic parallels with vampires and vampire slayers. Again, we covered it last night that this guy who died, his character is based on the creator's actual self. His name is Joseph Hill Whedon. The man who played the character, is dead while the country's 249 years old, going with his name. And again, I mentioned this last night, says that he was a big Dodgers fan. Dodgers trying to pick up the 54th World Series win for the NL this year. 54 outs in a baseball game. The season officially begins next Wednesday. Xander Harris, his character name, has the blood sacrifice code. Again, if you missed this last night, he died 387 days after Michelle Trachtenberg, who was also in Buffy. 387 is the 310th composite number, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer is 310, like Michelle Trachtenberg died on the first of the last 310 days of the year. So, what are the odds that you'd have these two deaths, both highly suspicious, so coordinated with the Pope, on top of everything else we show day after day? It really is sick. It really is sick. And even sicker is how disrespected this work is getting in 2026, when everybody should be consuming every last drop so they can pull their head out of their ass and help end this shit show. I mean, look at where we are because we haven't ended the shit show. Things are sky high in price, and it's going to go way higher because of what's going on right now. We had all this called out December 29th, 2022, exactly where all this was going. Nobody else had it called out back then. You'd think we'd be getting the biggest viewership on all of YouTube with the track record. The day Netanyahu came back, we told you what time it was. Came back on Albert Pike's birthday. I know a lot of morons want to tell you that Albert Pike letter about 3 world wars to come was some conspiracy theory and not real, but that's a load of shit because look how obvious it is. The Third World War to be centered on political Zionism. They bring back Puppet Bibi on his birthday. I called it all out that day. I said, well, you know where this is going. And I said, expect that war to get going while Israel's 75 in 2023, right about the time Yale turns 322 years old. Boom, what do you know? The war starts 2 days before Yale turns 322 years old. And that's really what's happened, you guys. From all the things we've exposed and been dead on about, we're now super buried in the algorithm because I mean, there really isn't anybody else in the world who's done anything anywhere near what we've achieved in the 13 years I've been here. It's not even close. It's not even close, and it's a damn shame. Kathy, thank you for the big 20. Appreciate it. Shout out to Leper Messiah again. All right, the internet's doing its thing again. This internet's been in trouble now for probably going on 3 months. Leper Messiah, thank you again for the big 5. And shout out Generous Dale with another 10. Appreciate that, Dale. Let me see what else is buzzing in the headlines right now. I didn't want to stream too long today, but Trump grapples with whether to deploy troops to Iran. Well, if that happens, I think this is going to be a lot longer than his 4 to 5 week estimate. He's going to be right up there with the likes of Donald Rumsfeld in the Bush Part 2 administration. And that's also what's annoying. I mean, I was in high school when the second Bush was elected the first time. And I just saw what a shit show it was then. I couldn't even vote. I was 17 years old. I just thought, okay, so the Republican candidate's the son of the last Republican president. I called him King George II. It's just, you guys, this country is just such an obvious, just everything's just such an obvious load of shit, and just people can't figure it out. It's like, what is wrong with them? What is wrong with them? Trump threatens to deploy ICE agents to airports Monday if funding deal isn't reached. I saw HBO's predictive programming show that has the summer cyber attack coming. This year's this season of The Pit, their hit hospital show, is set on the 4th of July. Cyber attack on the 4th of July. But yeah, the latest episode has ICE agents in the hospital causing all kinds of chaos. They even end up arresting one of the doctors. ICE on Monday, huh? Let's think about that one real quick. Trump threatens to deploy ICE. Today. It'll have 19 date numerology, won't it? 22nd, 20. I can't do math right now. No, it won't. It'll have 18 date numerology. That's March 23rd, 82nd day of the year. It'll be 75 days after the January 7th incident in Minneapolis. When did this funding ordeal begin? When did TSA funding ordeal begin? It happened on the 44th day of the year. Remember, 44 was all over that shooting on January 7th in Minneapolis on the 44th parallel. So I got to think more about it. I feel like I'm missing the ritual right now. Okay. ICE at the airports. Remember, ICE came out of the Department of Homeland Security, which came out of 9/11, just like TSA. All right. So, ICE in airports and potentially troops in Iran. Okay, so that's something buzzing. Fox News. Israeli official says Iran's lie exposed after report says regime targeted U.S. base outside Middle East. I'm sure Iran are the only liars. I'm sure they're the only ones lying. Uh, ah, there we go. There we go. See, that's what I needed. Now I see it. Now I get the whole ice in the airports potentially on Monday. Okay, if today's day 36, tomorrow's day 37, and Monday would be day 38. And this all got heated up here with what went down in Minnesota. I see. There we go. Minnesota 38. I see. Schumer gambit fails as DHS shutdown hits 30. So isn't it, man? It's just a joke. And don't forget the federal city's on the 38th parallel north. Okay. So ice in the airports on Monday, potentially. Remember, Bill Maher lost his politically incorrect show over a joke about 9/11. Now he likes Trump's Pearl Harbor joke. That was all a part of a. If you measure from when Trump or Bill Maher lost his spot on politically incorrect to when his real time show started on HBO, 33 weeks. 33 weeks. That wasn't an accident. Jesuit run HBO. Again, Bill Maher really is the perfect Jesuit symbol, half Catholic, half Jewish. All right, let's see what else is going on in the world. The InfoWars era of mega media is dead and making room for something darker. I like how they got snakes all over him. Trump, how many times did Trump read the snake poem to his idiot followers? They still couldn't figure it out. Talk about mental midgets. Alex Jones has always been an idiot. Iran launched unsuccessful attack on Diego Garcia, BBC understands. All right, Robert Mueller's in everybody's national and international news. And Al Jazeera. Iranian missile hits town hosting Israel's nuclear facility. 39 injured. I do remember that Henry Kissinger, a little before he died, predicted that Israel would be eliminated. That would be something. Okay. Let me look up one other thing that a lot of you guys have been asking me. Who Cesar Chavez, that's who it is. In my home city, Portland, they renamed one of the main streets after Cesar Chavez, maybe a decade or so back. Let's see. Somebody said that this accusation is from 33 years ago. CC, if it is true, C is the third letter, so CC33. Let's see. When did this supposedly happen? The women are now 66. If I'm not mistaken, when you spell out 33, it equals 66. Yeah, it does. Well, somebody said it was 33 years ago, but it says they started when they were 12 and 13, so that would have been longer ago than 33 years if they're 66. That would have been 54 years ago, like Cable 54. Okay. So New York Times broke the story. When did New York Times break story about Cesar Chavez sexual abuse? Looks like it broke on March 18th. All right, March 18th. He was 45, she was 13. So a difference of 32 years. The abuse went on from 72 to 77. The news broke on the 77th day of the year. They're 66 now. He died at 66. I mean, oh, this is the 33. He died in 93, so he died 33 years ago. Okay, so the story comes out 33 years after his death. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks like a total ritual by the same old code. They just do the same stuff over and over. He died on the 113th day of the year. Huh? It's amazing how they can just do the same stuff over and over and get away with it. His poor name, 86 and 121, like blood sacrifice. Cesar Chavez is 60. When you write out 33, it's 60 like that. Uh, so the story came out March 18th, so 13 days as well. Another popular number, 13 days before his birthday anniversary. He'd be 99 this year. Remember, the United States of America, 99, named on September 9th. The United Farm Workers logo is, oh, look at, they were formed in 66. He died at 66. The women are 66. Come on, man. I mean, okay. So that organization will turn 60 years old this year. And we just saw that when you write out 33, it equals 66 and 60. United Farm Workers of America has that old 129 in it. It said it went on from 72 to 77. Didn't I just see that his name equaled 72? Didn't I just see that? Yeah, his actual birth name equates to 72, just like Jesuit order. And they got that red, white, and black color scheme like the Jesuits. Their logo for the farm workers almost looks like something out of the Nazi Party, which kind of makes sense because it stands for, what's Nazi stand for? Something National Socialist something. Okay. Yeah, they just had to wait 33 years to come out with the accusation, and then just the word sex itself has that 33 too, which is, again, very relevant to us. People 33, person 33, society 33, 33 bones in the human vertebrae. Okay, but yeah, I don't know. These kind of stories, I'm just always disinterested in. An accusation decades later. Hmm. I don't know. You know, why would you wait 33 years? All right. They said this Buffy star, I forgot to mention last night in the video. They said he died in his sleep. You guys buying that? Just died in his sleep? Sound nowhere. Chuck Norris, first acting role in the Wrecking Crew. New Wrecking Crew's out. He's dead. The new Wrecking Crew set in Oahu, Hawaii, which floods on the same day as his death news and dies in Hawaii. Yeah. All these coincidences day after day. Okay. I think we'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. I'll keep my eyes peeled on if this becomes the latest headline that we're going to deploy troops to Iran. And yeah, the ice in the airports on the 38th day of the debacle. That would be more mockery. Fox News already took down the day count since I made that point. All right. Anyway. All right, guys, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. And until next time.